I'm Scott, this is Quick Trips, and as always, it's my job to get you where you want to go for as little money as possible. I will summarise all the pricing at the end and show you all the hotspots and hidden gems. Every link will be in the description. Like if you like, subscribe if you want to see more locations. This year, Germany will be hosting the Euros, and this is Germany's capital, Berlin. Let's go. Again, it's Liverpool to Manchester for my flight. An £8.50 coach with the National Express tends to be the cheapest way to get there without having to drive and pay an extortionate amount to park my car. I'm sure near you there'll be a National Express service, so check it out. For me, Manchester just seems better than Liverpool for flight choices, times and prices. I get most of the tickets through Google Flights and find some absolute bargains. I'll make a video on how this is done at some point, I promise. But for example, this flight, including Ryanair's extortionate baggage costs, was only £78 return. Even Ryan can't stop us getting cheap deals. When I first arrived in Berlin, I got lost. It's absolutely massive and no one really spoke English. However, I managed to figure it out and got a train into the city centre for only €3.80. This was a late arrival and I thought I was going to be too late to check into my hotel. However, I made it with 5 minutes to spare. So a quick tip, don't get a late flight, just in case. But City Hotel Berlin was £87 for 2 nights. This was located in West Berlin, and even though it was further away from the city centre that I wanted it to be, the trams were dead cheap and very convenient, came every 5 minutes. This also allowed me to see parts of the city I otherwise wouldn't have seen. And the room isn't too bad at all, very clean and very modern. This is the first look of the view from my room. I know you can't see a thing, but wait for it. There you go, nice little transition for you. So I get you're probably bored of seeing my room, so the next morning I hopped straight onto a tram. I didn't know how to pay, no one was on it to tell me, and no one checked my ticket, so hey ho. So my first plan in Berlin was, believe it or not, to leave Berlin, go to Leipzig and do a football stadium tour. However, I did not plan this very well at all. They wanted €110 just to get me one way. If I had booked in advance, it would have only cost €20 to €30. So, my best advice, and you learn from my mistakes here, book in advance. So instead, we took a walk around Berlin to see the sights, the city I actually came to. The first thing you would notice is on this traffic light, it's the Ampelman. They have a complete shop full of it. I don't know what it is, but it seems very popular in Berlin. I bought myself a little souvenir for my house, and then I moved on. This shop was located in Berlin's main train station. They have loads of shops if you're into your shopping, so I would definitely check that out. However, we walk across this lovely bridge. It was dead early in the morning as I got up to go to Leipzig, obviously, and didn't go. No people around. But we get to our first stop. Now again, I did not plan or book this, so please do, because you will not get in if you want to. There's a glass dome at the top of the Reichstag Building where you can get beautiful views of the city. Don't do what I did and miss out. A 2-minute walk from the Reichstag is the Brandenburg Gate, one of the most popular landmarks in Berlin. Right outside is one of Hitler's cars, believe it or not. The Brandenburg Gate was a symbol of division during the Cold War and is now a symbol of unity. This is one of Berlin's tourist hotspots and a great opportunity to get yourself a little photo. That's me. Another way to see the city is this VW camper van. It's called Berlin by Bully. For some reason, I'm not too sure. But I'm against bullies and any form of bullying, so I looked at this hotel instead. It's very famous for one particular thing, Hotel Aldon. I'll give you a little clip to help you guess. That's right, it's where Michael Jackson famously hung his baby out of a window. I mean, he called his kid Blanket. What do you expect? Stop 3 is a more serious one. It's the memorial for the murdered Jews of Europe. Now, when you walk through this, it's a bit quiet and eerie, and I guess that's what the artist was looking for. It makes you feel like you are trapped and lost. It's definitely one I wouldn't miss if you do come to Berlin, especially if you're into the war or the history of the city. This next stop is where Hitler's bunker used to lie. It is now just a car park because they didn't know what to do with the thing. However, this is where he would hide in the war and believed to have shot himself in this bunker. Let's all forget Hitler. And that's all the attention the guy gets from me. The next stop is the Mall of Berlin, where they've got loads and loads of shops again. They've even still got a C&A. If you're from Britain, you'll know what I mean. I haven't seen one of these in years, and you probably have never seen one if you were born after 1995. The mall consists of normal retail shops and high-end. It also has this amazing massive slide that goes through the middle of it. If you were a kid getting dragged to go shopping with your parents, you'd love this place. It goes on and on. Look at it, it's massive. I did not go down the slide. I'm not a child. Now the next stop is another famous tourist hotspot. This was when the Cold War was on between East and West Berlin. Checkpoint Charlie was the only way you could get from one side to the other, but you would be checked to make sure that you were not crossing the border illegally. If you want to know more about the history, you also have the Jewish Museum. The museum was opened in 2001 and is the largest Jewish museum in the world. The museum presents history of the Jews in Germany from the Middle Ages to the present day. If you keep walking up the street and you're into museums, Berlin has enough of them on Museum Island. A UNESCO World Heritage Site with 5 museums of archaeology and art. You will probably need a day to go through all 5 museums, and I didn't. There's also Berlin Cathedral, which was under construction at the time, but you can go inside for a small fee, and apparently it's beautiful. In the distance, you will see the long tower called Television Tower. You can go up this and get remarkable views of the city. However, it will cost you €20 for a ticket to get up it, which in my opinion is quite a lot just to see the city. And we move on to the main part of the city itself, Alexander Platz. This is where the watchtower is, and also where there's a lot of shops, again if you want to go shopping. Berlin loves its shops, but I don't. However, one thing I did love is this world clock. If you walk around it, it tells you the time in every country in the world, all at once. Quite impressive, really. There you go, look. You can see Wellington in New Zealand. Oh, wait, that's going very fast for me. I'm sure the UK's in there, Africa, you know, all of them. After all the walking, I built up an appetite, and why not try the local cuisine, currywurst, in Currywurst Express. It's literally sausage, tomato sauce, and chips. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but it did fill the gap. I'm just not a ketchup fan, really. So, when you think of Berlin, what do you think of? The main thing, the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall is what separated East and West Germany. It was knocked down in 1989. Save that date for your pub quizzes in the future. But is now basically an art mural where all of the Berlin artists paint what they want to paint on it, really, I guess. But it's really, really cool. Originally, the walls were measuring at 155 kilometers long, or 96 miles, and 4 meters tall. That's 13 feet. These walls were separated by heavily guarded, mined corridor of land known as the Death Strip. And again now, it's just a bunch of great paintings. Well worth a look if you go into Berlin. Right behind it is the river. And on a nice day, it's a great place to grab yourself a beer. And the people of Berlin are known for and do love their beer. So you might as well try a local delicacy. Right opposite the Berlin Wall is the famous Mercedes-Benz Arena, where you can catch a show. Or just grab a Five Guys outside like I did if you're not full up from the currywurst. It's not that currywurst isn't filling, I just didn't eat it all because again I didn't really like it. And then behind the Mercedes-Benz Arena is the East Side Mall. If you haven't had your shopping fix already, this is probably the best one. Well, other than the Mall of Berlin, because they had that massive slide, which was absolutely sick. They have a car and a bike that says Berlin on it. And they also have one of the biggest Audis I've ever seen in my life. But Audi did originate in Germany, so it makes sense. You can get yourself a bottle of wine, a massive bottle of wine, for $2.49. Jesus. And they even had a Woolworths. I don't know if it's the same one as we had in England, but again, haven't seen one of them in years. So back on the tram where I didn't get checked for a ticket again, to go back to the hotel and check out. So as we approach the end of the video, I just want to say thank you for watching, and hopefully you got some good information out of this video for yourself. So as always, let's recap. The flight was £78 return, even with Ryanair's stupid baggage costs. The coach was £8.50 with National Express. The hotel was £87 for 2 nights. And everything else was pretty much free. I just walked around and browsed. The currywurst was not worth counting. The total was £173.50. That's Berlin. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if again you like anything in this video. This is Quick Trips, and here's some other videos you may enjoy.